Compiling a list of the world's longest bridges is not an easy task since there is no standard way to measure the total length of a bridge. Some bridges are measured from the entry to the exit, while others are measured from shoreline to shoreline. Besides, the resultant numbers are mere estimates, and measures in feet may be inexact due to conversion rounding. Nonetheless, here are the 10 longest bridges in the world in 2021. 10. Line 1, Wuhan Metro Bridge. The Line 1 of Wuhan Metro is an elevated metro line in Wuhan, the capital of the Hubei province of China. When it opened in July 2004, Line 1 made Wuhan the fifth city in mainland China to have a metro system after Beijing, Tianjin, Shanghai, and Guangzhou. Spanning 37.7 kilometers, Line 1 of Wuhan Metro is officially the longest unbroken metro viaduct in the world. 9. Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. The Lake Pontchartrain Causeway in southern Laguna is the United States' longest continuous bridge passing over water. The causeway is made up of two parallel bridges, the longest of which measures 38.44 kilometers. It held the title of the world's longest sea bridge until 2018, when the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge took over. 8. Beijing Grand Bridge. The Beijing Grand Bridge in China is the 8th longest bridge in the world. The 48.2 kilometers long bridge is a part of the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway from Beijing to Shanghai. Construction of the bridge was completed in 2010, paving the way for its official opening in 2011. 7. Bang Na Expressway. Opened in 2000, the 54 kilometers long Bang Na Expressway in Thailand is the longest road bridge in the world. The 6-lane elevated highway, also known as Bang Pakong Expressway, ranks 7th in the general category of the longest bridges in the world. Bang Na Expressway held the trophy of the world's longest bridge from 2000 until 2004. The highway, which was built using more than 1,800,000 cubic meters of concrete, is raised onto a viaduct that spans 42 meters on average. 6. Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge. The Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge is the latest entrant in the list of the top 10 longest bridges in the world. Completed in 2018 at a cost of $18.8 billion, the 55 kilometers long bridge that connects Hong Kong and Macau is both the longest sea bridge and the longest open sea fixed link in the world. The facility consists of a series of 3 cable-stayed bridges, an undersea tunnel, and 4 artificial islands, making it a highly stunning bridge. Construction of the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge began in December 2009, and the entire project was finalized on February 6, 2018. 5. The Weinan Grand Bridge. Built in China in 2008, Weinan Grand Bridge is a 79.7 kilometers long railway that forms a portion of the Zhengzhou-Xi'an high-speed railway connecting Zhengzhou and Xi'an. After completion, the bridge remained idle until February 6, 2010, when the railway was opened to passenger and cargo trains. The Weinan Grand Bridge was in 2008 the longest bridge in the world, but it was quickly overtaken by the above 4 bridges. 4. Canada Grand Bridge. At 105.9 kilometers, Canada Grand Bridge is officially the world's 4th longest bridge. Completed in 2010, the bridge that boasts a total of 3,092 piers is also a part of the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway. Canada Grand Bridge is designed to endure strong earthquakes and other natural catastrophes such as floods and hurricanes. 3. Tianjin Grand Bridge. The Tianjin Grand Bridge is a 113.7 kilometers long bridge located in China. The bridge, which is a part of the Beijing-Shanghai Railway, connects Langfang to Qingxian and was previously the 2nd longest bridge in the world. Completed in 2010, Tianjin Grand Bridge boasts a unique design of an elevated track that helped the builders to avoid erecting many single structures for crossing railways and roads while shortening the construction timelines. The design of the elevated track was chosen on the one hand to avoid numerous individual structures for crossing roads and railways, and on the other to shorten the construction period. In addition, the railway line requires less land area in this design. A railway embankment requires 28.4 hectares per routed kilometer, the bridge but only 10.9 hectares, less than half the area. 2. Changhua Kaohsiung Viaduct. The Changhua Kaohsiung Viaduct in Taiwan is the 2nd longest bridge in the world. The 157.3 kilometers long bridge acts as a viaduct for a section of the Taiwan high-speed railway. Completed in 2007, the bridge traverses from Baguishan in Changhua County to Zuoying in Kaohsiung. Changhua-Kaohsiung Viaduct carried more than 200 million passengers in its first 5 years of operation. The railway, which is built over known fault lines, is designed to survive earthquakes and other natural devastations. It allows for trains to stop safely during quakes and for repairable damage during a maximum earthquake. 1. Danyang-Kunshan Grand Bridge. The Danyang-Kunshan Grand Bridge, located between Nanjing and Shanghai in China, is by far the longest bridge in the world. The 164.8-kilometer-long bridge that was opened in June 2011 is a part of the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway that connects Shanghai with Nanjing, the principal town of East China's Jiangsu province. Construction of the longest bridge in the world commenced in 2006, and it took 4 years, 10,000 workers, and $8.5 billion funding to complete the project. The China Road and Bridge Corporation, CRBC, a subsidiary of China Communications Construction Company, designed and built the bridge. It is a Chinese government-funded company that was originally part of the Foreign Aid Office of the Ministry of Communications of China. This company leads major civil engineering projects in China like highways, railways, bridges, ports, and tunnels. What do you think of the video? If you have any questions or doubt, please comment down below. If you haven't done so, hit the like button, subscribe, and share our content. Make sure to keep watching our channel to know when this will be happening. Please subscribe to our channel. Many people watch our videos but don't subscribe our channel. We make new content every day, so please support our channel. As our channel grows, we will do some special giveaway for our YouTube family, so please keep support. Like, share, subscribe. According to the Air Force Nuclear Weapons Center, Public Affairs, the Air Force has awarded 2 contracts to modernize the ground-based missiles which this branch of the armed services has been using since the 1970s. The Air Force has a comprehensive intercontinental ballistic missile weapons system program in place, and it aims to develop more mature technology and reduce risks by creating the new Ground-Based Strategic Deterrent (GBSD) missile. The contracts were awarded to Northrop Grumman Systems Corporation in Redondo Beach, California, and Boeing Company in Huntsville, Alabama, with the announcement taking place in August 2017. In this video, we are talking about the 10 most powerful missiles in the world. BGM-71 TOW-2B. This newest version flies to a position over a tank and fires projectiles into the tank, piercing its top armor. Previous versions are wired, but this newest one is wireless. The TOW can deploy from any vehicle on the ground. Raytheon took in orders totaling more than $500 million in September 2017 to build these wireless radio-controlled weapons, which are the precision anti-armor weapons used by more than 40 armed forces internationally today. 9. M5. This French SLBM submarine missile is the only ICBM which France has, and as such, it is significant to their military strike force. It is a variant of less powerful predecessors, upgraded to a range of 8,000 kilometers. The 3-stage solid propellant weapon can attack targets all around the globe with deadly results. When launched, the missile powers upwards for several hundred kilometers to launch from 6 to 10 MIRVs. Each of these has a thermonuclear warhead of 107 kilotons, which ultimately speed down to their targets at Mach 25, finally deploying penetration aids that ensure success. It takes just 20 minutes to travel 4,500 kilometers, allowing no response time for intended targets. 8. Anai missiles IV. This family of long-range, nuclear, surface-to-surface ballistic weapons is named after the Hindu god of fire. The Anai I-2 and III are already in service. The Anai IV has completed its trials as of January 2017, and the Anai V should enter service within the Indian Army sometime from 2017 to 2018. The missiles represent variants in the range, payload, and a number of rocket stages. The Anai III is remarkably accurate and considered worldwide to be one of the most accurate in the intermediate range class. The series uses some of the most advanced navigation and control technology developed indigenously. 7. Jericho 3. This intercontinental ballistic missile is the first for Israel. It was preceded by the short-range Jericho I and the medium-range Jericho 2. There is some indication that it shares technology with the space launch vehicle known as Shavit. The Jericho missiles have evolved over time, and the current version has a warhead that is guided by radar and having a substantial range. In fact, it encompasses the entirety of Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Middle East. It also can reach most of North Oceania and North and South America. For this reason, it allows a nuclear warhead to launch into almost any location on Earth, giving the Israel Defense Forces considerable clout. It has a significant velocity of re-entry, and this makes it immune to the missile defense systems currently in place on Earth. The silos which house the Jericho 3 are thought to be impervious to almost any nuclear attack. 6. 133 Trident II. Lockheed Martin built this submarine-launched ballistic missile. It is deployed by both the United States and United Kingdom navies. It has been in service since 1990, though variants have added greater payloads, longer range, and increased accuracy since the missile was first developed. These improvements have given it the ability to function as one of the most efficient first-strike weapons. It launches within seconds after the command is given to breach the water surface and begin flight toward its target. The Trident II is comprised of 3 solid-fuel rocket motors which ignite in sequence to propel the rocket forward. It has a range of 4,230 nautical miles and can receive GPS updates via its Mk6 astro-inertial guidance system. It has carried a range of warheads with varying payloads and will receive a new warhead design for future engagements. 5. Tomahawk cruise missile. The Tomahawk was first deployed in 1984. It was named for the axe used by Native Americans. It is a subsonic cruise missile designed for long-range flight to strike land targets that are either heavily defended or of high value. It travels at approximately 550 miles per hour and has a range of about 1,500 miles. The missile can be piloted to take evasive routes using guidance systems tailored to specific missions. Its official title is Tomahawk Land Attack Missile or TLAM. It has been successfully launched from both US and UK submarines and US Navy surface ships. There are several variants of the Tomahawk, with various enhancements. The most recent are capable of being reprogrammed during flight using satellite communications to program alternate targets or to redirect using GPS coordinates. It carries a nuclear warhead and, depending on the model, additional bomblets. There are several variants of the Tomahawk, with various enhancements. The most recent is capable of being reprogrammed during flight using satellite communications to program alternate targets or to redirect using GPS coordinates. It carries a nuclear warhead and, depending on the model, additional bomblets. 4. DF-41. This is China's most deadly intercontinental ballistic missile. In fact, it is one of the world's deadliest. Though exact specifications are not yet known, it is believed that it was entered into use in 2016 or 2017. Its range is estimated to be 12,000 kilometers, which gives it the capability to target all areas of Europe, Russia, and the United States, reaching any of these countries within a mere 20 to 25 minutes. It carries solid fuel and up to 10 MIRVs, the multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, which add to its overall power. Making it even more accurate is the internal Beidou Chinese satellite navigation system. The missile is carried into launch position by the Tian HTF-5980 cross-country vehicle with a 16x16 configured, special-wheeled chassis. 3. RS-28 Sarmat Satan II. This warhead has the capability to destroy targets flying across the North and the South Poles. It was first unveiled on the website of Makeyev Rocket Design Bureau in 2016. Its range is expected to exceed 6,800 miles, with the capability of destroying areas of the Earth comparable in size to France or Texas. Yuri Bosyov, Russian Deputy Defense Minister, announced this news to TASS, the Russian state news agency. The warhead is one successor to the R-36M Voyevoda, and news of its existence was released just after Moscow made the announcement that it has suspended the arms reduction agreement it has held with the United States. The new Satan II replaces the SS-19 Satan missiles and solidifies fears that a world without nuclear weapons is a dream which has come to an end. 2. LGM-30 Minuteman III ICBM. This intercontinental ballistic missile is one part of the United States Strategic Deterrent Forces. Its name describes its function. The letter L is the way the Defense Department designates missiles that are launched from a hardened silo. The letter G stands for a surface attack. The letter M means it is a guided missile. Minuteman missiles have existed since the late 1950s. These weapons provide quick reactions, inertial guidance, high reliability, high accuracy, and significant long-distance target capabilities. As of 2015, more than 450 Minuteman III missiles are in force in Wyoming, Montana, and North Dakota. Since the first Minuteman I missile was deployed in the 1960s, the series has been continuously upgraded and enhanced. 1. SSN-30. Russian warships let flight 26 of these cruise missiles on October 7, 2017. They were sent to Syrian rebel targets located 1,000 miles from the warships located in the Caspian Sea. The Pentagon provided the name for these almost unknown missiles, as they were a surprise even to those who keep a regular, well-trained eye on Russia and its military. The attack is being viewed as a kind of calling card to the rest of the world that Russia's new missiles have taken their place amongst the most advanced in existence. The missiles completed the objectives of striking 11 targets including a terrorist training camp, command centers, armament, oil and munitions storage, and ammunition and explosive producing plants. Though exact statistics are obviously unavailable, the missiles demonstrated that they are similar to the Tomahawks used in combat successfully by Great Britain and the United States. What do you think of the video? If you have any questions or doubt, please comment down below. If you haven't done so, hit the like button, subscribe, and share our content. Make sure to keep watching our channel to know when this will be happening. Like, share, subscribe. Scientists and medical researchers have for years differed over the exact definition of a pandemic. Is it a pandemic or an epidemic? But one thing everyone agrees on is that the word describes the widespread occurrence of disease in excess of what might normally be expected in a geographical region. Cholera, bubonic plague, smallpox, and influenza were some of the most brutal killers in human history. And outbreaks of these diseases across international borders are properly defined as pandemic, especially smallpox, which throughout history has killed between 300 to 500 million people in its 12,000-year existence. In this video, we are talking about the top 10 of the worst pandemics in history. Sixth cholera pandemic, 1910 to 1911. Death toll: 800,000 plus. Cause: cholera. Like its 5 previous incarnations, the sixth cholera pandemic originated in India where it killed over 800,000 before spreading to the Middle East, North Africa, Eastern Europe, and Russia. The sixth cholera pandemic was also the source of the last American outbreak of cholera, 1910-1911. American health authorities, having learned from the past, quickly sought to isolate the infected, and in the end, only 11 deaths occurred in the US. By 1923, cholera cases had been cut down dramatically, although it was still a constant in India. 9. Flu pandemic, 1889 to 1890. Death toll: 1 million. Cause: influenza. Originally the Asiatic flu, or Russian flu as it was called, this strain was thought to be an outbreak of the influenza A virus subtype H2N2, though recent discoveries have instead found the cause to be the influenza A virus subtype H3N8. The first cases were observed in May 1889 in 3 separate and distant locations: Bukhara in Central Asia, Turkestan, Athabasca in northwestern Canada, and Greenland. Rapid population growth of the 19th century, specifically in urban areas, only helped the flu spread, and before long the outbreak had spread across the globe. Though it was the first true epidemic in the era of bacteriology and much was learned from it. In the end, the 1889 to 1890 flu pandemic claimed the lives of over 1 million individuals. 8. Third cholera pandemic, 1850-1860. Death toll: 1 million. Cause: cholera. Generally considered the most deadly of the 7 cholera pandemics, the third major outbreak of cholera in the 19th century lasted from 1852 to 1860. Like the first and second pandemics, the third cholera pandemic originated in India, spreading from the Ganges River Delta before tearing through Asia, Europe, North America, and Africa, and ending the lives of over 1 million people. British physician John Snow, while working in a poor area of London, tracked cases of cholera and eventually succeeded in identifying contaminated water as the means of transmission for the disease. Unfortunately, the same year as his discovery, 1854, went down as the worst year of the pandemic, in which 23,000 people died in Great Britain. 7. Flu pandemic, 1968. Death toll: 1 million. Cause: influenza. A Category 2 flu pandemic, sometimes referred to as the Hong Kong flu, the 1968 flu pandemic, was caused by the H3N2 strain of the influenza A virus, a genetic offshoot of the H2N2 subtype. From the first reported case on July 13, 1968 in Hong Kong, it took only 17 days before outbreaks of the virus were reported in Singapore and Vietnam, and within 3 months had spread to the Philippines, India, Australia, Europe, and the United States. While the 1968 pandemic had a comparatively low mortality rate, 0.5%, it still resulted in the deaths of more than 1 million people, including 500,000 residents of Hong Kong, approximately 15% of its population at the time. 6. Asian flu, 1956 to 1958. Death toll: 2 million. Cause: influenza. Asian flu was a pandemic outbreak of influenza A of the H2N2 subtype that originated in China in 1956 and lasted until 1958. In its 2-year spree, Asian flu traveled from the Chinese province of Guizhou to Singapore, Hong Kong, and the United States. Estimates for the death toll of the Asian flu vary depending on the source, but the World Health Organization places the final tally at approximately 2 million deaths, 69,800 of those in the US alone. 5. Antonine Plague, 165 AD. Death toll: 5 million. Cause: unknown. Also known as the Plague of Galen, the Antonine Plague was an ancient pandemic that affected Asia Minor, Egypt, Greece, and Italy, and is thought to have been either smallpox or measles, though the true cause is still unknown. This unknown disease was brought back to Rome by soldiers returning from Mesopotamia around 165 AD. Unknowingly, they had spread a disease that would end up killing over 5 million people and decimating the Roman army. 4. Flu pandemic, 1918. Death toll: 20-50 million. Cause: influenza. Between 1918 and 1920, a disturbingly deadly outbreak of influenza tore across the globe, infecting over a third of the world's population and ending the lives of 20-50 million people. Of the 500 million people infected in the 1918 pandemic, the mortality rate was estimated at 10% to 20%, with up to 25 million deaths in the first 25 weeks alone. What separated the 1918 flu pandemic from other influenza outbreaks was the victims, where influenza had always previously only killed juveniles and the elderly or already weakened patients. It had begun striking down hardy and completely healthy young adults, while leaving children and those with weaker immune systems still alive. 3. Plague of Justinian, 541 to 542. Death toll: 25 million. Cause: bubonic plague. Thought to have killed perhaps half the population of Europe, the Plague of Justinian was an outbreak of the bubonic plague that afflicted the Byzantine Empire and Mediterranean port cities, killing up to 25 million people in its year-long reign of terror. Generally regarded as the first recorded incident of the bubonic plague, the Plague of Justinian left its mark on the world, killing up to a quarter of the population of the eastern Mediterranean and devastating the city of Constantinople, where at its height it was killing an estimated 5,000 people per day and eventually resulting in the deaths of 40% of the city's population. 2. HIV/AIDS pandemic, at its peak, 2005 to 2012. Death toll: 36 million. Cause: HIV/AIDS. First identified in the Democratic Republic of the Congo in 1976, HIV/AIDS has truly proven itself as a global pandemic, killing more than 36 million people since 1981. Currently, there are between 31 and 35 million people living with HIV. The vast majority of those are in sub-Saharan Africa, where 5% of the population is infected, roughly 21 million people. As awareness has grown, new treatments have been developed that make HIV far more manageable, and many of those infected go on to lead productive lives. Between 2005 and 2012, the annual global deaths from HIV/AIDS dropped from 2.2 million to 1.6 million. 1. The Black Death, 1346 to 1353. Death toll: 75-200 million. Cause: bubonic plague. From 1346 to 1353, an outbreak of the plague ravaged Europe, Africa, and Asia, with an estimated death toll of between 75 and 200 million people. Thought to have originated in Asia, the plague most likely jumped continents via the fleas living on the rats that so frequently lived aboard merchant ships. Ports, being major urban centers at the time, were the perfect breeding ground for the rats and fleas, and thus the insidious bacterium flourished, devastating 3 continents in its wake. What about COVID-19, the novel coronavirus? Beginning in December 2019, in the region of Wuhan, China, a new, novel, coronavirus began appearing in human beings. It has been named COVID-19, a shortened form of coronavirus disease of 2019. This new virus spreads incredibly quickly between people due to its newness. No one on Earth has immunity to COVID-19 because no one had COVID-19 until 2019. While it was initially seen to be an epidemic in China, the virus spread worldwide within months. The WHO declared COVID-19 a pandemic in March, and by the end of that month, the world saw more than 500,000 people infected and nearly 30,000 deaths. The infection rate in the US and other nations was still spiking. With the coronavirus pandemic, people all over the world have become more aware of the best practices during a pandemic, from careful hand washing to social distancing. Countries across the world declared mandatory stay-at-home measures, closing schools, businesses, and public places. Dozens of companies and many more independent researchers began working on tests, treatments, and vaccines. The push for the human race to survive the pandemic became the primary concern in the world. The outcome of the COVID-19 pandemic is impossible to predict at the time of this writing. But we can learn from pandemics in history to determine our best courses. These are our teachers: the Spanish flu, the AIDS pandemic, and more. What do you think of the video? If you have any questions or doubt, please comment down below. If you haven't done so, hit the like button, subscribe, and share our content. Make sure to keep watching our channel to know when this will be happening. Like, share, subscribe. Every city in the world has a story to unfold. The ancient cities have all the more tales engulfed with rich cultural heritage to share. They have an intriguing history, beautiful architecture, and showcase the imprints of evolving human civilizations. Most of the ancient cities in the world have stood the test of time apart from human invasions and geographical calamities. So let's take a look at the oldest cities in the world that are still thriving today. Varanasi, India, 5,000 years old. Varanasi is the oldest city in India and also the birthplace of the oldest religion, Hinduism. Also known as Benares, or Kashi, the city is located on the banks of the river Ganges in the Uttar Pradesh state of North India and dates back to the 11th century BC. This city draws Hindu pilgrims and tourists from all across the world. These pilgrims bathe in the river Ganges and also perform the funeral rites. There are some 2,000 temples, including Kashi Vishwanath, the Golden Temple, dedicated to the Hindu god Shiva along the city's winding streets. 9. Plovdiv, Bulgaria, 6,000 years old. Plovdiv is the second largest city in Bulgaria. Plovdiv's history spans across more than 6 millenniums, making it one of the oldest cities in Europe. Excavations show that people have been inhabiting the ancient town on the Nebat hill since 4000 C. The city was an important Persian, Thracian, Macedonian, and Ottoman hub. Today, Plovdiv is the second biggest city in Bulgaria and an up-and-coming tourist hub. 8. Sidon, Lebanon, 6,000 years old. Inhabited for at least the last 6,000 years, Sidon was one of the most important Phoenician cities because of its location as a crucial port on the Mediterranean. Sidon is the third largest city in Lebanon and is located in the South Governorate. Glass production had made Sidon both rich and famous, and the city came to be known for being progressive. Also, the Phoenicians were known for their skill in shipbuilding and navigating the Mediterranean Sea. 7. Erbil, Iraqi Kurdistan, 6,000 years old. Erbil has been inhabited over the millennia by the Persians, Greeks, Romans, Mongols, and Ottoman Turks. At the center of the city rests the Erbil Citadel, also known as Huller Castle, which is an ancient structure that dates back to 2000 BC. The Erbil Citadel is an artificial mound and the historical city center of Erbil. Erbil is known for its modern malls, ancient sites, and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. 6. Susa, Iran, 6,300 years old. Susa was an ancient city of the Proto-Elamite and one of the most important cities of the ancient Near East, the home of early civilizations within a region roughly corresponding to the modern Middle East. Its location is close to the Tigris River and hence made it one of the most important cities in the ancient world. It was believed that the city was once completely destroyed by the Assyrians, but then was quickly rebuilt, and then it saw its most glorious days during the Persian Empire. 5. Athens, Greece, 7,000 years old. Athens is the capital and largest city of Greece. It dominates the Attica region with its earliest human presence starting somewhere between the 11th and 7th millennium BC. This city is also an ancient home of philosophy and the birthplace of Western civilizations. In fact, it boasts of habitation, that goes back long before the days of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. The city withstood the test of times and was a subject of complete destruction following the Dorian and Persian invasions. Today, Athens is a sprawling metropolis and the oldest capital city in Europe. 4. Argos, Greece, 7,000 years old. Argos is a city in Argolis, the Peloponnese, Greece, and is one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities in the world. According to research, Argos remained neutral throughout history and did not participate in the Greco-Persian Wars. Argos hosts around 22,000 residents today and numerous ancient monuments can be found here. 3. Byblos, Lebanon, 7,000 years old. Located around 42 kilometers north of Beirut, Byblos is the oldest and the largest city in the Mount Lebanon Governorate of Lebanon. It is believed to have been first occupied by humans between 8800 and 7000 BC and continuously inhabited since 5000 BC. Also, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it is believed that the first import of papyrus in Greece took place in this city. This city is also an archaeological wonder because of the successive layers of debris resulting from centuries of human habitation. 2. Aleppo, Syria, 8,000 years old. Aleppo serves as the capital of the Aleppo Governorate, and it has been continuously inhabited for more than 8,000 years. It is a fact that the remnants dating back to 11,000 BC of human settlements have been found there. Aleppo is actually located between the Mediterranean Sea and Mesopotamia, and due to its geographical location, it became an important trading hub during the ancient era. However, due to warfare between the government and rebel forces that have killed thousands and forced many to flee from their homes, Aleppo has been facing devastation since 2012. 1. Damascus, Syria, 11,000 years old. Also named as the capital of Arab culture, Damascus is the oldest city in the world that has seen many of the great civilizations rise and fall. According to research studies and historical evidence, Damascus was first inhabited in the second half of the 7th millennia BC. It is the oldest continuously inhabited city in the world and is a prominent cultural center of the Arab world. Today, Damascus is a metropolitan area with more than 2 million population and was named the Arab capital of culture in 2008. What do you think from the video? If you have any questions or doubt, please comment down below. If you haven't done so, hit the like button, subscribe, and share our content. Make sure to keep watching our channel to know when this will be happening. Like, share, subscribe.